Trade rumors are escalating. A writer reveals a blockbuster trade sending a bona fide superstar to the San Antonio Spurs, and we're about to break all of it down here on Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. And if you guys haven't yet, take a spur of the moment to get every Spurs moment moving forward. Hit that subscribe button. Grow with us here at Digest. Our goal is to get to 3K before the end of the year. We don't know. It's an ambitious goal, but we're hopeful that it can happen. But let's just get right into it. Blockbuster trade idea. Anthony Davis to the San Antonio Spurs. The Lakers get what they want. The Spurs get what they want. It's a situation where who says no? I'm going to lay it all out here, give my thoughts on it, and then I'm interested to hear what you guys have, because I think that this could be an intriguing trade for the San Antonio Spurs. Lakers' hopes of contention, blah, blah, blah. They have had two of their worst losses, so they're basically, in this report, it's saying, okay, the Lakers are in a position now where they don't believe that they're in a position to win a championship. They have LeBron and AD, even with LeBron and AD going off for 38-point triple-double from LeBron, or 39-point triple-double from LeBron, 38 and double-double from Anthony Davis. They still can't get a win even over the Atlanta Hawks. You have things like that. So Rob Pelinka, you need to do something. What are you going to do? Anthony Davis and LeBron James, those are really your only two trade assets. Dalton Connect's not going to get you much, even though he's good, and Austin Reeves is not going to get you a whole lot, even though he is good. Other than that, really your trade assets, Anthony Davis, unless it's like the Warriors or something who want to take LeBron. So, we get into this trade. The San Antonio Spurs receive Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, Christian Wood, and Jalen Hood Scafino. I hope I pronounced that correct. The Lakers, what the Spurs would be giving up would be this: Devin Vassell, Zach Collins, Keldon Johnson, Malachi Branham, 2025 Atlanta first-round pick, unprotected. 2026 first-round San Antonio pick, unprotected. 2027 first-round Atlanta pick, I believe top 10 protected, if not unprotected. And a 2029 first-round San Antonio pick, unprotected. The thing to note about those picks there really quickly, Anthony Davis should be on the latter half of his career in that 2029, or maybe even retired, depending on how long he wants to play in the NBA. But Victor Wembanyama should be the best player in the league by that point, to be quite honest with you. So those picks right there from the San Antonio Spurs in 26, they should be championship contenders. That pick's going to be 22 or worse. The same thing in 29. It should be 22 or worse, because Wemby can get them to the second round just off of him being him. And then, of course, you've got Stephon Castle there still. You still got pieces. And so this is what the trade is. And this is what the idea is. The Spurs would be bringing back the Twin Towers idea. Of course, we had David Robinson and Tim Duncan. That led to a championship, but we didn't have to do anything. The ping pong balls and everything just fell our way. We got Tim Duncan to go along with the Admiral. They had Avery Johnson, Sean Elliott. The list goes on with that roster. In the shortened season, they beat the Knicks, the 8-seed Knicks, one of the first teams. I think actually the first team as an 8-seed to get to the finals. They beat that Knicks team, and you get the first championship for Gregg Popovich, first championship for Tim Duncan, and the rest is history. You win in 99, 03, 05, 07, and you get there in 13, you lose to the Heat, and then you come back, double back in 14, get that fifth championship for us. But it'd be bringing back this Twin Towers that you would have. It would just really be the updated NBA version. The first championship in Spurs history won with a dynamic big no. Pairing of Wemby, the all-NBA caliber center, and Anthony Davis could very well be like building a block over the sixth championship in franchise history. Here's the thing, oddly enough. David Robinson was still phenomenal. He was starting to get on a little bit of the back half of his career. He was just in the back. He won MVP in 94, 95 with a phenomenal season. He had seasons before that were great. Of course, leading the league in points and things like that. So he was still phenomenal, and he was still a very good player, but Tim Duncan had eclipsed him towards the end of that season, definitely as the best player on that roster, at least in my opinion. If you guys think that's a difference, we can have a conversation about that. But in this case here, you would have an Anthony Davis who was about peak prime, You would have a Victor Wembanyama who is entering that prime. I mean, on the season right now, Anthony Davis is averaging 27 points, 11 rebounds, about 4 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal a game, shooting 53% from the floor, 32.6 from 3. So essentially with Wemby combined, that would be 50 points, 25 rebounds, 8 assists, 6 blocks, 2.5, 3 steals, combined with them what they're doing this year, which would be insane. That would be an insane tandem to have in the middle. It would be one of the greatest duos, big man duos of all time, if they produce at the highest level, because talent-wise, it's all there. And then, obviously, as I just said, Davis listed his stats there, and then you've got the usage rate relatively low in the open court. Davis being an expert executor when it comes to plays drawn up for him. The thing with Davis is he doesn't need the ball to stick in his hands, which is great. He would, unlike Brandon Ingram, when I talked to him, Brandon Ingram kind of has to have the ball in his hands, and ironically enough, the video's recorded, then he hurts his foot. Anyways, but Anthony Davis would fit into everything. He fits the defensive mold. He fits the offensive mold. He can stretch the floor just like Wembanyama can. I know both of them don't love to be the center, but both of them could rotate as in being on the inside. Wemby doesn't have any problems with like guarding centers, which is good on Anthony Davis's part. And Anthony Davis actually plays more low than Wembanyama, and Wembanyama's a better passer. So you could really get a beautiful high-low game between Anthony Davis and Victor Wembanyama. Provides interior strength for the San Antonio Spurs and have lacked every wary Wembanyama at center. Davis has also wanted to play in a more dynamic front court, so having a center power forward with Wembanyama who can effortlessly switch positions would be fantastic. They would be a beautiful tandem. It would be one of the best tandems in all of basketball. Actually, it would be the best tandem in all of basketball. Let's not even just sugarcoat anything. It'd be the best tandem in all of basketball, and I don't actually think it'd be all that close. Make contracts work. That's why you have to get D'Angelo Russell. I don't love D'Angelo Russell there, but again, it's fine because he's an expiring contract. With that expiring contract afterwards, you let him go. You have plenty of money for Anthony Davis, Christian Wood, and Jalen Hood, but young players or older players doesn't really make a difference. They're not the pieces there. That's just to make the contracts work. And so essentially what you would be doing is the Spurs might not be able to compete for title this season. I think they would be. But Davis would help progress Wembanyama. And then for the next 4 seasons, that's 4 years, $175 million. Towards the last seasons when you'd be giving Wemby his second contract. So money-wise, it's not an issue at all. Let's go back to the pieces, blow it up here, and let's break this down of what we'd be giving away. The main piece we'd be giving away would be Devin Vassell. That's 18 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists on the season, 46% from 3, 51% from the floor. I know he has been in and out of the lineup a lot this season with either a foot, a knee, rest because of the back-to-back, because of the foot. And here's the thing. A lot of people in the Spurs Digest family and in the Spurs family kind of calling for a trade of Devin Vassell. They've called for trades for Keldon Johnson. They religiously call for a trade from Zach Collins. I saw it in the last video I posted in the comments there. You see it online. You see it on whatever website you want to go to. Devin Vassell, Zach Collins, and Keldon Johnson are 3 players that actively get put into, I want to get rid of this guy. Devin Vassell because of the injuries, Zach Collins because of the unnecessary need, especially when you have Charles Bassey behind him, and Keldon Johnson because it's still stuck in everybody's head that he's bad because of last season and the fact that he got played out of the starting lineup and had to be reduced to a bench role. So for us, what's the problem here? And then Malachi, we have Tre Jones, who's going to be, I know he's a free agent this year, but you've got Stephon Castle, Chris Paul, Tre Jones. We still would have Blake Wesley. You've got guards. Guards is never going to be an issue. They have too many guards almost at some point. They have a lot of people who don't even get run like they could because of the guard depth. So, as a Spurs fan, I'm just interested to see what would be the issue for you guys. D'Angelo Russell, you don't have to keep him. So don't worry about D'Angelo Russell doing whatever D'Angelo Russell does. I don't want him. You get Victor Wembanyama and Anthony Davis, and you still keep Stephon Castle. You have Harrison Barnes, a veteran. He'll be around for a few years. Chris Paul would probably stick around for one more year, even if it's reduced to a bench role, or it can be a starting role where he plays 20 minutes a game, whatever. He still looks good this season. Okay? You still got Tre Jones. You now just got to go re-sign him. Blake Wesley, you still got him. Charles Bassey, you still got him. I don't see the issue here. Julian Champagnie, you still have a shooter. You still have a guy. Shout out to Justin Champagnie, by the way, helping defeat the Nuggets last night. 56 for Jokic because he's a freak. But shout out to Justin Champagnie, brother of Julian Champagnie, doing his thing. But I'm just trying to see where the problem would be for the San Antonio Spurs. I think this would be a phenomenal trade. Will the Lakers do it, though? Probably not, for a few reasons. One, because Rob Pelinka doesn't like to make that many splashes. Two, LeBron wouldn't be on board with it, him being a clutch client. Him and Rich Paul would probably try to put the squash on all of that. And three, you just don't see trades like this come out of LA as of late. This isn't Jerry Buss. This is Jeannie and Rob and that whole regime doing whatever they do. But I'm just saying, for the Lakers' sake, you would get Devin Vassell, so you get a guard who can go out there, score, can play, go along with Dalton Connect to go along with Austin Reeves, and you get a guy in Vassell who can actually play make. You get Zach Collins, so you'd get a big to go fill in. You get Keldon Johnson, a guy who can really splash off the bench. You get Malachi Branham, who can actually play off the bench too. You would get the Atlanta Hawks first-round pick, which could be a top pick. You would get the Hawks 27 pick, which could also be a top pick. You get 2 Spurs picks, which would be later, and good trade assets. So for the Lakers, I think at some point you're going to have to figure out, we're going to have to move off Anthony Davis because you can't build a franchise around him because it's going to be a multiple-year rebuild at this point, and you don't have the time for it. And LeBron James, obviously he is still very, very good, but at some point, Lakers, you got to do something for your organization and not for him. But let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about this trade. I think that Anthony Davis to the Los Angeles Lakers, Keenan, cool. Anthony Davis to the San Antonio Spurs from the Los Angeles Lakers would be a great move for the San Antonio Spurs because you would get one of the best tandems in the league. And when I was talking about trading trade assets, draft picks, capital, players the other day with the Brandon Ingram move, because that report had come out too, Spurs being one of the favorites. I didn't want to do it for anything that wasn't big game hunting. This here, that's big game hunting. This I'm all on board for. Let me know if you guys are or are not in favor of this move for the San Antonio Spurs, whether you think it at all likely. I hope that this could happen because then a Spurs championship would be coming within the next 395 days. I could probably know 430 days. Spurs championship would be coming in the next 430 days. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. This has been Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon.